So let's take a moment to talk about central authentication within our Flex Connect AP. Well, this is something I've been mentioning again. I keep putting the cart before the horse, but really we have to think about this as a whole, and that's what you'll start to do as you become more entrenched in the wireless environment. You always think of things as a whole, all the bits and pieces that go together to create a working environment. So sometimes I talk about things before I should. I apologize for that. Hopefully, I'm still hitting the point of the slide when we're on it as hard as I can so you understand. But I don't like giving you part of the picture. There's so many questions when that happens. So I like to push it all together and then focus on the one section we're on. So right now we're on central authentication versus local authentication. So let me draw the line. Frank, central environment on this side, local environment on this side. Okay. Centrally authenticated means a FlexConnect AP authenticates the clients through the wireless LAN controller. Beep. So what do we need there? I want to hear you loud and proud. What do we need? There's two terms you could use just fine. I heard some of you say cap lap tunnel. That's good. What's another one? DTLS tunnel. Great. That's what I was looking for. So either way, we have to, in a centrally authenticated, what happens is we deliver here to this wireless LAN controller, and then the wireless LAN controller will deliver here. The authentication OK comes back here, and then that's sent back through the CapWAP or DTLS tunnel. Great. And like we said, that is great unless what? Unless there's a failure. There's a failure there, creates some issues. Our wireless LAN, if it is locally switched, will be fine. We'll stay up and we'll go through traffic fine unless our lease time runs out or unless a situation arises where we have to re-authenticate to the server. In that case, we're going to lose connectivity and be unable to reconnect through the AP. No. But as long as we were connected before and we were locally switched, that wireless LAN is locally switched, we were fine. If we are centrally switched and centrally authenticated, and that central authentication fails, just the radius server, let's say just the radius server fails, again, we're going to be fine until we create a situation where we have to be re-authenticated, where our lease time is up or some type of security prompt has been issued. Okay, like we don't have our centralized key management working or something else happened. That's only if just the radius server fails. If the link itself fails and we are centrally switched and centrally authenticated, you will be disassociated. There's nothing the AP over here can do. The AP has nothing for you. It can't even move the traffic for that wireless lane. Right? So we've talked about this stuff, but we were driving it home there. So let's talk a moment about local authentication. So let's say we're not using this one. I'm going to scratch that one out. Now we are using local authentication. Let me grab an arrow. Yeah. So we're using that local radius server right there. This is kind of cool because we have APs here. We have clients. They come up, they authenticate with this radius server, and then we have authentication that takes place and we're locally switched. We're fine. Even if this link drops, like we talked about, if this link drops and we are locally authenticated and locally switched, we are fine. Right? Because we have the ability to do local switching. If we are locally authenticated and locally switched, that provides us with a bit of safety, doesn't it? So it's up to you what you run in your mode, in your environment, but there's plenty of ways to do this. Local authentication or central authentication. Usually in remote sites, if it's not big enough for a wireless LAN controller, sometimes they don't have local radius authentication. They don't want a management from central office. Sometimes they mirror these two servers. the centralized radius, and then the radius, the local radius. But that depends on your site. Just be aware of the behavior of your wireless network. Okay, that's your job. that's what you're in charge of. Although in IT today, I must say everybody's wearing a lot of hats these days, so they both might be your job.